Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be a review of the Streamlight ProTac 1AA. And this is actually going to be the first review of a flashlight that I have ever had on the channel. And as you guys can tell by the body of this Streamlight ProTac, it is probably one of my most used pieces of gear that I have ever reviewed on the channel. I have had this little light as my EDC for the past 3 years, and I have used it every single day. I actually just recently did some low light shooting with this light for the first time in my life, and it was extremely eye-opening to what this light is actually capable of, and I was very, very impressed. This is an older model of the ProTac, and to my knowledge, Streamlight no longer makes it. But in doing some research on YouTube, you will find that there's really only one other kind of lower quality review that I have been able to find on this light. So I'm very, very happy to finally get this little guy some screen time. The biggest differences that Streamlight has made on the new version of this light, which is going to be the 1L 1AA ProTac, is going to mainly be the Lumens output and the placement of the pocket clip. So guys, pretty much the only thing that I don't like about this light is the placement of the pocket clip, and the reason for that is because it rides so high in the pocket. It's not really a bad thing when you consider actually pulling the light out of your pocket with some speed and doing some defensive drills or something like that, but as far as just regular everyday carry, the light just sits a little bit too high and it just kind of gets in the way. So you'll notice that the new version of this handheld light has a much deeper set pocket clip, which I think was an awesome idea by Streamlight. The other thing that you'll immediately notice is the Lumens output. So this light is not capable of using a rechargeable CR123 or anything like that. It is mainly going to be designed to use a standard AA battery. Unfortunately, because of that, the lumens can only get so high. So on the high setting on this light, it's only 70 lumens. Over the past 3 years that I have used this in everyday tasks, that's never been not enough lumens. I've always been more than fine, and quite frankly, I have only used this light on the high setting over the past 3 years. I haven't even really messed around with the low setting. The new version, the 1L 1AA, actually can go up to 350 lumens and can take a CR123 battery, and the low setting is actually going to be 40 lumens. The low setting on this guy is going to be all the way down to about 5 lumens. Now, that is actually not a bad setting for everyday tasks. You lose something underneath the couch, 5 lumens is probably going to be more than enough. But I like to use this light for not only everyday tasks, but everything. And I think this can actually be a great defensive companion when you're in a state like New Jersey or Maryland, or maybe another state where you cannot have your firearm with you, but you can have a flashlight. Maybe in those states you can't even have a pocket knife or something like that. I can still have this little flashlight here, and I love the bevel on the front here. It creates an awesome blunt force object if you really needed to, and just the ability to actually shine this light can actually be a deterrent in and of itself. Now, this light does have Streamlight's 10-tap programmable system, and that's going to include a couple of different modes, low and tapping twice will get it into high lumens. They also have a high and high strobe setting, and then they also have just a high only setting. For the longest time, I have actually just used it on the high only setting, and that has had no issues for me. But right now, I figured I'd give it a shot for the low and high setting, and I will try that out for the next little bit and see how I like it. I've never used the strobe setting. I'm just not one of those people that uses that setting a lot. I don't think it's really practical in most defensive situations. It may help you out, may disorient somebody, but for me, like I said, I'm using this a lot more in everyday tasks, and that kind of just gets not practical, and you end up strobing yourself much more than you do any sort of bad guy trying to do you harm. As far as the durability of this light, I have been impressed. Guys, I paid about 50 bucks for this light about 3 years ago, and I cannot even count how many times I have dropped this, that it's slid across the room on a cement floor, that I've dropped it in water, that I've used it in rain, and this has never gone out on me. The only time that this light has actually stopped working is when it ran out of battery, and you will normally see that when the light kind of starts to flicker and ultimately just go out obviously that's a sign that probably your battery is dying. It has been carried in my pocket every single day, and it has some nicks, it has some awesome character to it, and the only thing that is actually broken on this light is the actual O-ring that's normally around the bottom of these threads here. Streamlight does recommend that you keep that O-ring properly lubricated. Unfortunately, I just was lazy and did not, and ultimately over the years it ended up kind of fraying and just breaking off. So I was going to do some water testing with this light, but unfortunately with the O-ring being gone, I don't know how watertight it is if it were to actually get submerged. And I like this little light, so I didn't want to totally ruin it. I wanted to use it until it ultimately just died out on me. So this is the only piece that has broken. I would imagine that if you do keep this piece properly lubricated, you're not going to have any issues with that over the years. As you can see, the light still works just fine without that O-ring. In my opinion, this is a perfect size for an EDC light. It's not too small, and it's also not too large. Now, you guys have probably been seeing some back roll footage of how this light actually looks in multiple different situations and multiple different lighting conditions. In pitch black, you will notice a pretty solid beam with a good amount of throw, and in kind of like medium low light settings, again, you will immediately notice that it is only 70 lumens. So it's not going to be blinding in any situation, but I find that whatever situation that I'm in, it is absolutely enough light for me to get the job done. The only time you may start noticing some differences between this and another high lumen light is when you start getting to distance. And I don't see this light being a searchlight or anything like that. I see this as being an EDC light, maybe a light that I could use in a defensive situation with my pistol, as you will see with some shooting in low light conditions here in back roll, and that works perfectly at defensive distances of maybe 3 to 5 yards. Past that point, I think you would just obviously want to get a different light. This light's just not really designed for that. The tail cap on the end here is perfect. It does a really good job of not accidentally getting depressed. You can see that just now it's getting turned on there when I'm putting a lot of pressure, but just standard pressure here on the end of the tail cap, nothing's turning on, and it does have momentary, but I can also double tap and switch the light on for a constant on. I am a huge fan of Streamlight products. I have their rifle mounted lights and I just absolutely love them. I also have a high lumen version of their handheld light that I will be doing a review on in the future, and I think they are the absolute best bang for your buck when it comes to weapons lights and also handheld just everyday lights. They really get you an extremely good value. There are obviously a lot of other good companies out there and maybe a lot of other cheaper lights, but I think this is a great happy medium for a light that you don't have to break the bank on, but as you can see here, will give you years of hard service without dying out on you. Now, guys, I can't count on my fingers and toes the amount of times that I have actually switched this battery out over the past 3 years. I have ran it out so many times with a lot of hard use, but I would say if I had to estimate how long you get before the actual battery dies out, and we're talking only with use on the high setting, I would say you get probably about a good month of hard use before you have to switch that battery out. I do work at a gun shop, so I'm constantly using this also to check the bore on firearms. It works great for that. And I do have to actually clear the building at night for security reasons when I am closing up the shop because I am one of the managers there. So I'm constantly using this in dark rooms to search the room, see where everything's at, and it works out just fine for that as well. The overall design of the body of the light really provides a lot of good aggression in the spots that need it, so I feel like I can always get a very good handle on the light. Normally, I am holding it in this ice pick style grip so that if need be, I can switch from just identifying what's going on to actually using it as a defensive option very quickly. It draws fast from the pocket with this really nice aggression in the knurling here on the end cap. And the only thing, like I said, that I would change would be this pocket clip because I just think it rides a little high in the pocket. But as we can see, Streamlight already solved that problem with the second generation of this light. And honestly, guys, I'm really excited to actually get one of those on the channel. I want to buy one of those guys here shortly so that I can really see the difference of what they changed in these lights. That's pretty much gonna wrap this video up, guys. I really have enjoyed this light over the past 3 years of hard use, and I am going to continue to use it every single day until I either switch it with another option or it just simply dies out on me. Overall, this has provided an awesome little EDC light, and I don't think you could ever go wrong. I've been really searching around to see if you can even still find these lights, and I haven't really seemed to find them anywhere. But honestly, guys, that's not really a huge deal because, like I said, the second generation of this light, the 1L 1AA, seems to be everything that this light is, but just a little bit better, and I can't wait to review that light here on the channel. If you do have any other further questions about this flashlight, please go ahead and put them down below in the comments section, and I absolutely will get back to you. While you're down there, check out the description. I have a Firearm Freedom Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account, and we do daily posts on all 3 of those, including 2 live streams a week on the Firearm Freedom Instagram account. Also, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell if you do enjoy the content that's coming out here on the Firearm Freedom YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more great videos to come soon.